KBGA Missoula, you're listening to Missing 中国. Today our show is has the theme of two, and in Chinese it's R, right? Anyway, can you relate it to any movies, Mr. C?
Well, I often tell you that I don't like sequels. I'm not a big fan of sequels. I don't think sequels should ever be made. But I thought since the number today is two, we'd talk about sequels, the second part of franchises or whatever that are actually better than the first part.
Okay.
Now, it doesn't mean that the first movie is terrible or anything. It just means the second movie was actually better because people think usually sequels are worse than the original. So we'll start with Friday the 13th Part 2, released in 1981. Friday the 13th Part 2 is a much leaner and meaner movie than Part 1. It's actually the purest post-Black Christmas slasher ever made. It's just all about introducing the campers and then slicing and dicing them, turning them into what Joe Bob Brigg calls spam in a cabin. Friday the 13th Part 2 is the first movie, by the way, where Jason is actually the killer. And he's much more human and sort of animalistic and vicious in this one. This is a mean, nasty thriller, but it's just very well made. It does exactly what it's supposed to do. Next on the list is also from the year 1981. It's called The Road Warrior in the United States, but it's actually Mad Max 2 from Australia. The original Mad Max, just like the original Friday the 13th, they're both good movies, but the sequels are way better. The Road Warrior is one of the greatest action movies ever made. It continues to be that to this day. The next one this one's a little bit obvious. Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. Star Trek, the motion picture, was a very ambitious movie that was a little bit boring and didn't really succeed in the entertainment department. Star Trek II, like Friday the 13th Part 2, is much leaner and meaner, and it is a much better film. Everybody kind of agrees on that. Here's an interesting one. So the first James Bond movie was Dr. No. The second movie, From Russia with Love, is vastly superior. It's a much better James Bond movie. It's a better spy movie. When people discuss, well, what is the greatest James Bond movie of all time? The three movies that are usually discussed are On Her Majesty's Secret Service, Goldfinger, and From Russia with Love. From Russia with Love is the second one, and it is better than the first one. And finally, we'll move to the comedy genre. And the Pink Panther series of movies, which I think progressively got funnier and funnier until the late 1970s. The first Pink Panther movie is pretty boring. In fact, Dr. Sang, you and I tried to watch it once and we turned it off. It was so boring. The second movie in that series is called A Shot in the Dark. And by that movie, the director Blake Edwards realized the best thing to do was to focus all the comedy on the hijinks of Inspector Clouseau. And so A Shot in the Dark, the second Pink Panther movie, is better than the Pink Panther.
Okay, thank you for the lecture. Hi, I have a question.
Oh, was I sequel-splaining?
If I ask you to explain everything again, would you do a better job?
No.
Okay. Yeah, it depends on what it is, right? Sometimes people do better in the second time, at the second time, sometimes
Well,
not.
no, there are lots of different factors that go into what makes... So many people, if you ask them what's the best sequel ever made, the two answers that usually come up are The Godfather Part 2 and Empire Strikes Back, the second Star Wars movie. I don't really know... So Empire Strikes Back is, as far as filmmaking goes, is better than Star Wars, but I don't think that Star Wars ever needed a sequel. So, for instance, my list here, like Friday the 13th, who really cares if it has a sequel or not? But Star Wars was a very special movie. And to turn it into a cash machine, which you still see today, as we saw, there's a soft drink commercial using Star Wars today. Despite all the damage that Disney's done to it, it's just the more they work with Star Wars, the more they just ruin the legacy of the very first movie. The Godfather movies to me have always been a little bit boring. I'm of the Goodfellas generation, so I like my gangster movies a little bit faster paced. So I really don't know if The Godfather Part 2 is... In fact, I don't really like The Godfather Part 2 compared to the first one. The first one is a much more streamlined narrative. It just works better for me.
Okay.
The one interesting sequel that I don't really know if it's better than the original or not is Blade Runner 2049. Yes.
Very interesting. Okay. Thank you for the recommendation. Hope you will listen to our show again and get more about it.